Hello. In this video, I will be talking about self-harm. I think most people think that self-harm is just attention seeking, which it's not. I think it's someone who can't cope with their emotions and is a way to deal with them, to express themselves. Um, Even though it's a not very good way of doing it, as you can cause damage to yourself, like scars, and it can be life threatening at times. Um, I've self harmed since I was 13, 14, I think. And when I started, I think people were always whispering at school about why I was wearing a jumper in the summer and why I wouldn't take my blazer off and things like that. And my school, my head of year, did actually find out, and it was through a teacher. And the only way I can think that teacher found out was because in PE I wouldn't take my jumper off or my blazer, because once we had to go out and do some like sport that we weren't supposed to, she kind of called it like a reward kind of thing to us. And we were supposed to take our blazer and ties off, but well, I couldn't say why I couldn't. Um, so then she found out that way, and then she told my head of year, and then it kind of all started from there, really. But when someone self harm, I think they need to get help and support, even if it's just talking to someone to let them know how they're feeling and to express themselves, or use other ways to express themselves, but what are more healthy, like using like a rubber band on your wrist, putting cold ice, using a red pen on your arm or where you want to self-harm instead of actually cutting yourself. Obviously self-harm comes in more different ways than just cutting. It's like some people use overdoses as a way of self-harm, or like pulling out the hair, burning themselves. I think everyone has a tolerance level of how much they can cope with, and I think when they get to that point, they just want to have a release from it. Well, I can only speak for myself. I can't really say about other people. But when I get to a point where I just can't cope and I want to switch off, I use the self-harm method just so I can go to sleep, or just have like a normal 5 minutes thing with not having so many thoughts going on around my head. It's almost like a coping mechanism. But I think when I was at school, my friends, some of them found out and they weren't. I don't know. I don't think they really understood what it was. But then some other people who I knew, I think they just thought it was some kind of joke, that people just do it for a laugh. I remember one time when this girl came up to me and showed me her arm, and I kind of looked at it and was taken back by it, because I didn't understand why she was showing me. I knew what it was, but I didn't know what she was going to achieve by showing me. Maybe she wanted some help or something, but after she showed me, she was kind of just laughing about it. So I'm not quite sure if she done it as a way of coping, or just to. I'm not really sure. But she came up to me and showed me, and then this other girl done it, and her and this other girl was really close. But I'm not personally. I think it was some kind of joke to them. But it didn't mean anything. But looking back, there's a lot of people who I know that have self-harmed, or they still do, and I always think that I could just stop just like that, but I know that deep down that I can't. Now I think to stop self-harming or to recover from a mental health illness, that you need to deal with like the root cause. So for example, if someone has anorexia, there will always be a cause to that. Sometimes there may not be a cause, or that person doesn't know what has triggered their anorexia or depression or their self-harm. But I think that there is always help out there for everyone who wants it, and I think it is very important to seek help and like as soon as possible, rather than leaving it until things get so bad that you are hospitalised somewhere. And I think hospital is a very horrible place to be, because you can't get around what you want to do. Like if you want to self-harm, you can't get around it because they'll stop you, or if you don't want to eat, they'll make you, or they'll true feed you, or they'll take things away from you, like your leave and going home. And it's more harder being in a secure unit than being in an open unit, I think personally. But you do meet some people who are in the same boat as you and who are very supportive, and I think everyone tries to help each other, not just try and recover themselves. It's when I was in hospital, I always had people every time who would support me and help me. Like if I was having a bad day, one of the girls came over to talk to me, and she got me to come and sit at the table with her, and we danced together and was talking. So it's those little things that make a difference when you're in that place, and it is a lot harder if you're further away from home. But I think that everyone just needs to get support, and if anyone watching this, you self-harm, or you know someone who does, or as a family member or friend, I think you need to get support or talk to your sister, brother, friend, cousin, and say that you should go and seek help. Even if it's just going to a GP and telling them at first, they can always refer you to a mental health service, like CAMHS or adult mental health, depending on how old you are. But it's always the first step, which is the hardest. I think once you get that step first and you've done that, it's a lot more easier than just carrying on with what you're doing. And once you get that support network around you, you soon, hopefully, you should recover. But you do need to talk to people. There's no point in holding everything in yourself and not talking, and just keeping your thoughts and feelings to yourself. It does make things worse, and the best advice I can give is to seek help and to talk to people as openly as you can, even if it's writing things down in letters or drawing pictures. It does, that would make a difference because you're still communicating with them. But just try and get support if anyone watching this needs it, and anyone can leave a message underneath here if they need to. Okay, bye.